video, I'm going to demonstrate proactive lifelines. And I've demonstrated this in tutorials in the past, but I wanted to have one video for reference for when you need it. And I have several videos on different kinds of lifelines for different stitches, whatever. And if you click the little eye in the upper right-hand corner, I'll take you to my website for my Correcting Mistakes playlist, where I have all of my lifeline videos, and this is one that I'll add. Now, proactive lifelines, what I call proactive lifelines, are a way to make knitting less nerve-wracking if you're worried about knitting, if you're worried about making a mistake. In a lot of stitches that you work, especially cables and lace, just anything with complicated stitches, it's really hard to recover the stitches if you make a mistake and you have to rip back. And the lifeline is actually securing those stitches so that if you do have to rip back, it's really easy to recover the stitches regardless of how complicated the stitch pattern is. And so it is a lot less nerve-wracking. The only thing is you have to plan ahead for possibly making a mistake. You can't add a proactive lifeline after the fact. It's proactive, right? So that is what they are. Let's go and take a look at my work. Okay, I've knit up this swatch and it has both a faux cable in it and it has yarn overs. I picked this because it would not be very easy to recover stitches from this if I made a mistake. And information about this stitch and the yarn I'm using and the needles and everything are in the video description field below, and my website if you want to click the little eye to my website. All that information is there. So what I have here, these cords sticking out here, they're lifelines that I installed earlier in the work. And there's no reason to take them out. They can just stay there until I'm finished with this scarf or whatever it is I'm knitting. But I want to show you how to put these lifelines in. And what I've done, you see that these are placed pretty regularly. Every time I work the last row of this repeat twice, I put in a lifeline. So if I do have to rip back, I know it's round 5 of this pattern, and the next round I have to work is round 1, right? Okay. So I'm using this cotton crochet thread. You can use anything as long as it's thinner than the yarn you're knitting with. And the easiest way to put in proactive lifelines is on a circular needle, because you can slide the stitches to the cord, and then you have plenty of room to get the needle in there. And you just slide it through every stitch. This is all it takes. It's not like a lot of work, but sometimes when you're comfortable in your knitting chair, it's like, I'm just not going to put a lifeline in this time, you know, and then you're like, I have to rip back inches because I didn't do it. Okay, so the lifeline is in there. I have like a lot of cord sticking out. I'd probably want to trim that. And it's just going to stay there, and you're going to work the next row. Work the next row like nothing's different. You just ignore it. I can't find my working yarn. You're just going to ignore that lifeline as you work across. And then if you need to rip back, I'm actually going to do this for you. Let's say I've made a mistake, like right here. Oh no, I have to rip back. Is this breaking your heart? Well, look at that. All my stitches are held and easy to see, and all I have to do is just put my needle, just run it along the lifeline. And all my stitches are picked back up, and I can just keep going. Okay, there's one more thing I want to show you. And a disclaimer here, whoops. No, I'm not going to do that. We can set that piece aside now. This is not my favorite method for running a lifeline, but I get so many emails about this. If you're using an interchangeable circular needle, there is a hole at the base of the cord that you use for tightening the needle onto the cord. I mean, different needles are different brands attach the needles differently, but with Knitter's Pride and some other brands, it's tightened using a key at the base of the cord. But we can use that hole for dental floss. I am the worst needle threader, honestly, but I have some dental floss here. I'm going to thread it into a very fine needle and then put that needle through the cord. I guess if you were crafty, you could actually just put the dental floss through there without the needle. Now, this is the technique that everyone raves about. I think it makes my needle drag a bit. But if I actually still had my work on here, I could just knit across with this on my right needle. Then when I slide the stitches over it, the dental floss is automatically, with really no work from me, through all the stitches. So I've essentially installed a lifeline. I can pull the dental floss out of that cord and let it hang, just like I did with my other proactive lifelines. And people really like that. Like I said, I think it changes my tension, it creates a drag, and I think doing it this way is actually just as easy. So, but there are two different methods. You might want to try it, you might like it. And that is it, making your knitting a little less nerve-wracking with proactive lifelines. Good luck.